Where do I even start? Where do I even start? 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 7 threes, 11 for 20 in only 31.
What's good, basketball fam? Buckle up, grab your popcorn, and get ready for a story that's going to leave your jaw on the floor. This isn't just a game recap. Nah, this is a tale of revenge, redemption, and straight-up basketball magic. On Saturday, June 14th, 2025, the Indiana Fever didn't just play a game against the New York Liberty. They delivered a masterclass in karma so satisfying it deserves its own Hollywood script. And leading the charge? None other than the queen herself, Caitlin Clark. Points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks. 7 three-pointers on 11 for 20 shooting, all in just 31 minutes. Oh, and did I mention she dropped 9 points in 38 seconds? Crossing half court, 1 dribble, pulling up from the logo like it's her backyard hoop. Ladies and gentlemen, this wasn't just a return from injury. This was Caitlin Clark reminding the world why she's the most electrifying player in women's basketball. So, where do we even start? Let's break it all down.
And just like that, she's back. Caitlin Clark drops 35 after her 5-game layoff from injury. It was at a point where she scored 9 points in less than 45 seconds. I mean, crossing the half-point line, 1 dribble, and just pulling it from the logo. Like, these plays are just...
The drama, the stakes, the shots, and the statement that shook the WNBA. If you're ready for the wildest ride in sports right now, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. Picture this. Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis is buzzing like a beehive. The undefeated New York Liberty, strutting in with a perfect 9-0 record, are looking like they own the WNBA. They've got championship pedigree, defensive swagger, and a roster stacked with stars like Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart. These are the defending champs, folks, and they're playing like they forgot what losing feels like. But across the court, the Indiana Fever are ready to throw a wrench in that perfect season.
Well, the Indiana Fever, I'm watching it. It just went final, 102-88 over the league undefeated, now defeated, New York Liberty. New York Liberty, Stephanie White.
Who's back to lead them? Caitlin Clark, fresh off a 5-game layoff due to a quad injury. For weeks, she's been sidelined, watching her team struggle while the WNBA's ratings took a nosedive. Without Clark, viewership dropped by a staggering 55%. That's right, 55%. The league found out real quick just how much they need their golden goose. Games without her were like a blockbuster movie missing its star. Technically possible, but nobody really wanted to watch. Now, this game wasn't just about basketball. It was personal. The last time these two teams met, there was drama thicker than your grandma's Thanksgiving gravy.
Well, the Indiana Fever say, come on, New York. Come on. Somebody's got to give you this first L, and I guess it's going to be us. No Jonquel Jones, but the Indiana Fever handled business. 102-88. We finally hit triple digits thanks to CC22.
In their previous matchup, Natasha Cloud, the Liberty's defensive specialist, stripped the ball from Clark in the final seconds. Clark thought she was fouled. The refs? They didn't see it that way. That non-call left a bitter taste, a grievance that festered, a memory that burned hotter than a Phoenix summer. Clark had been waiting for this moment. She wasn't just coming back to play, she was coming back to prove something. And the Liberty? They were about to get a reality check so brutal it'd make a tax audit feel like a spa day. From the opening tip, you could feel the electricity in the arena. The Liberty came out swinging, jumping to a 17-6 lead. They were moving the ball, hitting shots, and playing with the confidence of a team that thought they were untouchable. For a hot second, it looked like Clark's return might be a footnote in a Liberty blowout. But then something shifted. With just over 3 minutes left in the first quarter, Clark converted a 3-point play. You could see it in her eyes, a spark, a fire, a signal that she was about to take over.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Caitlin Clark put on the show, dropped 25 in the first half. Then she was diamond is here, diamond is theirs. They scored over 100 points first time in the season, and they gave New York Liberty their first L. Take that L, go back to the Hudson River, and go back to New York with that L. You know what I'm saying? And I can't stand Sabrina. I'm going to call her Sabrina, I flop you. Because all she does is flop. I can't stand Sabrina Ionescu. She's a flopping machine. I'm glad she's taking that L today. Caitlin Clark, 32 points, 7 for 14 from 3. That's 50%. 8 rebounds, 9 assists. She almost had a double-double, almost close to it.
And take over she did. In the span of 38 seconds, Caitlin Clark turned Gainbridge Fieldhouse into her personal stage. 3 logo threes, back-to-back-to-back, 33 feet, 27 feet, 31 feet. Each one splashing through the net like it was destined to. The crowd erupted like Mount Vesuvius. The game was tied at 24, and suddenly, this wasn't just basketball anymore. This was Caitlin Clark announcing to the world, "I'm back and I've got some unfinished business." Those shots weren't just buckets, they were statements. Clark was shooting from distances that'd make NASA jealous, and everyone fell like autumn leaves in October. The Liberty didn't know what hit them. Their perfect season was starting to crack, and Clark was wielding the hammer. By halftime, Clark had dropped 25 points, including 6 three-pointers, the most she'd ever scored in a single half in her pro career. The Fever led 53-50.
Caitlin Clark, 9 points in 20 or 38 seconds. Oh my goodness. Came back to back logo threes. For a minute, man, I told the chat, call the cops on Caitlin Clark for logo abuse. Oh my goodness, man, she was killing it.
And you could see the worry creeping into the Liberty's eyes like morning shadows, unleashed the basketball equivalent of a nuclear option. The Liberty tried to fight back, opening with a 9-0 run that briefly restored their swagger. But Clark and the Fever responded with a 19-0 run that left New York looking like they needed a GPS to find the basket. Every time the Liberty thought they had an answer, Clark had a counter. Every time they thought they'd figured her out, she pulled another three-pointer out of her bag of tricks like a magician with an endless supply of rabbits. This wasn't just a game, it was a performance. Clark was everywhere.
The Indiana Fever. That is Fever basketball at its finest. Fever ball's finest. As a team, by the way, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The least turnovers the Fever have had in a game as a team since...
She finished with 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 7 threes, tying her career high for made three-pointers. She was 1 rebound and 1 assist shy of a triple-double. And she did all this on 50% shooting from deep in just 31 minutes. Oh, and did I mention she was coming off a quad injury? This wasn't just greatness. This was Michael Jordan flu game levels of legendary. The Fever as a team were clicking on all cylinders. They set a franchise record with 17 made three-pointers on 48.6% shooting from beyond the arc. They hit triple digits for the first time all season, finishing with a 102-88 victory. This was Fever basketball at its finest, fast, fearless, and fueled by their superstar point guard. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room.
3 threes in 38 seconds in the first half. Caitlin Clark hit 3 logo bombs, by the way. 3 logo bombs in 38 seconds. This was the Caitlin Clark we all said, oh, she's different. She's sent from outer space. The Caitlin Clark that we saw today was the Caitlin Clark that we were accustomed.
Or should I say the point guard on the court, Natasha Cloud, the same player who stripped Clark in their last meeting, leaving her with a non-call and a loss. Cloud had been riding high, confident in her defensive prowess, even earning Player of the Week honors. But on this night, she was trying to guard the unguardable. It was like trying to stop a hurricane with an umbrella. The irony was delicious. Cloud, who had denied Clark's game-winning chance weeks earlier, was now helpless as Clark dismantled her team's perfect record. Every logo three, every no-look pass, every dagger felt like a personal message. You thought you had me, think again. The basketball gods were watching, and they had a sense of humor sharper than Clark's crossover.
For one of the best and most elite performances we have ever seen from Caitlin Clark. Now, I got to remind everybody about this. Caitlin Clark is coming off an injury, bro. What we seen today was greatness. This was similar to the Michael Jordan flu game. I mean, it's up there type deal, bro. Caitlin Clark just handed the New York Liberty the ass whooping of a lifetime. And what's crazy about all of this is that the referees couldn't even save them. See, last time, the referees was able to save New York, and they walked away with the victory. The game was so far out of reach, the referees had to just...
Cloud's Linsanity run, as some fans called it, was over. She tried her best, but you can't stop a force of nature when it's on a mission. Clark didn't just beat the Liberty. She outplayed everyone on the court, including the player who'd haunted her last game. This was revenge served ice cold with a side of humble pie. For the Liberty, this loss wasn't just a number in the standings, it was a wake-up call. Sabrina Ionescu dropped 34 points, and Breanna Stewart added 24. But it wasn't enough to stop the Clark tornado. They'd entered the game as the WNBA's last unbeaten team, riding high on their championship pedigree and defensive excellence. They left with their perfect record in tatters and their confidence shaken. And let's keep it real, Sabrina Ionescu? She's a star, no doubt, but some fans weren't feeling her flopping antics. Sabrina, I flop you, as one commenter put it. The Liberty fought hard, but they learned that even the best-laid plans crumble when you're up against a generational talent having the game of her life. This game wasn't just about one night in Indianapolis. It was a reminder of why Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. Her return wasn't just good news for the Fever.
Off. I'm glad that New York got that L. They should have got the L the other game. Now they just got what they deserve. Okay, but Caitlin Clark went off. I'm happy. That is what people pay to see. You see the difference when Caitlin Clark is on the floor? She makes the whole offense way better. The offense is better. They're clicking. They're getting to their spot.
It was a shot in the arm for the entire league. During her injury absence, nationally televised Fever games averaged just 847,000 viewers, down 53% from her pre-injury average of 1.8 million. Her return against the Liberty? It drew 7 million viewers on ABC, making it the third most watched WNBA game of the season. This isn't a coincidence. It's the Clark effect. The Fever became the first WNBA team to hit 1 million social media followers on any platform. Their merchandise sales surged so much that the team store faced an audit for suspicious revenue spikes. Ticket prices for Fever games routinely exceed $600, with courtside seats against the Liberty reselling for $2,500. The arena's noise levels hit 116 decibels during Clark's introductions, louder than most NFL stadiums. Clark's impact goes beyond the box score. She's driving an economic boom in Indianapolis, contributing an estimated $36.5 million to the local economy in 2024 alone. Social media exploded with her highlights. Ticket prices for future games skyrocketed by 366%. And suddenly, everyone was talking about women's basketball again. The WNBA commissioner herself called Clark the most popular athlete in America. And games like this prove why. When Clark plays, the WNBA isn't just relevant. It's a cultural event. Her absence was like storm clouds covering the sun, and her return was the rays breaking through. She blends old-school grit with new-school flair. Her logo threes and no-look passes are catnip for highlight reel fans, while her fiery competitiveness resonates with purists. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Caitlin Clark is back, and she's better than ever. She's not just the face of the WNBA. She's the spark that makes the league must-see TV. Games like this are why we love sports. The drama, the redemption, the moments that make you jump out of your seat. Clark's return wasn't just a win for the Fever.
Natasha Cloud's Linsanity run is over. As I said, her player of the week, the player of the week curse, we saw it happen to Kelsey Mitchell as well till the end of that game where she was so clutch. But her Linsanity runs over. I got a DM from somebody going, Natasha Cloud's great. What are you talking about her Linsanity run? I'm like, was there an Linsanity run? I was like, she can play defense. She's not a great offensive player. Forget the referees. This was apparently a foul. On Lexi Hull. And there were so many of them throughout the game. Breanna Stewart shot 14 free throws. Stewie shot 14. Half of them
This is what people pay to see, guys. That's why the TV ratings are high when she's on TV. She's fun to watch. Girls balling out, back-to-back threes from the logos, man. She was just going off tonight. And I was so glad that she's out there having fun, bro. Like, she was going off, bro.
The word undeniable exists for a reason, and it applies to Caitlin Clark. She is just absolutely undeniable, and her return to the Indiana Fever showed it once again. It felt like a jolt of energy to the WNBA, obviously to the Indiana Fever, who looked like a completely different team, as Caitlin Clark put on a show that only she can in leading the team to a win over the New York Liberty, the first L for the Liberty on the season.
She was at a point where she pulled from the logo
And her and Stewart were just laughing because it was just that unbelievable. I told y'all, face of the league.
And much to the credit of Caitlin Clark, this team won a massive.
It was a win for basketball fans everywhere. If you love this breakdown, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Drop a comment below. How insane was Caitlin Clark's performance? Are the Fever a playoff threat now? And what's next for the Liberty after this L? Let's get the conversation going. Thanks for rocking with me, fam. Until next time, keep ballin', keep watching, and stay tuned for more WNBA fire. Caitlin Clark is back on her throne, and she ain't giving it up anytime soon. Peace.